Hey, it's Zeph, and welcome to Kerbol Space Program 2, the sequel. We've made it after 3, probably more years of waiting. We finally can get our hands on...
You don't want to be like this.
Oh no.
This is disgusting.
Wait. The bugs! The glitches!
The Kraken!
So, let's be honest. This game, it's just a little bit, just a tiny bit glitchy and buggy, just a little bit. And the optimization and performance isn't that good either. However, I want to play this game, and I want to show you guys stuff too. So, I thought, let's start off this program right. And we're going to do it by doing tests and finding out some stuff. And I wanted to do some tests regarding interstellar travel. That's a weird thing, as there is no actual true interstellar travel yet implemented, as, well, there's no other star system. So what are our goals today? Our main goal is to simply leave, or get close enough, to the outskirts of the Kerbol system. And along the way, we will note down just a few things regarding interstellar travel. For instance, how good are solar panels way out there in space, eh? How far can we see the Kerbol sun? And finally, how dark is it really? All this and more in today's episode of the S.H.A.R.T.S program. Now welcome. This is the new center where the Kerbols stay. And in case any of you did not catch up last time, Jebediah went into the sun. And here's exactly what happened, right? With the success of the solar station being put in orbit around the Kerbol sun, we were able to get so much research from that we were able to not only upgrade our rocketry and our understanding of it all, but also the Space Center, which now looks about 1 billion times better. Although, in some ways, it does go through a few temporal things and changes. Sometimes it'll appear in space, and... Anyway, so, when Jebediah returned, it was a bit weird, because we put a statue up basically as a memorial, but, I mean, hey, technically it still makes sense to be up there, because, he probably sacrificed a lot to go fight the sun, which, by the way, why did he do that? Anyway, let's get on to building our first rocket. This is the S.H.A.R.T.S Seer. Now, you can probably understand what that means. This isn't a Mark 1, this isn't a Mark 2. We've already gotten past all the marks. Listen, we've evolved far beyond marks. There still will be marks, like there'll be probably a Mark 2 Seer or something at some point in the future. But for now, this is the S.H.A.R.T.S Seer, and we will be using this to see the edge of the Kerbol system. Now you also might be asking, wait, the S.H.A.R.T.S program? What does that mean? Well, in case you didn't know last time, S.H.A.R.T.S standed for Scientifically Hastening Aerospace Throttlers of Science. What does the R mean? Basically, it means remastered, renewed, rebranded, whatever you want to put there. It's a new. We're new, okay? We're new. We're remade. Whatever word you want to put there. No bad words, though. No bad R words, okay? We're none of that. None of that. Anyway, let's get her on the launch pad and see how this goes. So we made it to space. Let me just take a second and say that I absolutely love the visuals of this game. Amazing. much, much better than KSP1. In some ways, KSP1 modded definitely can look better, but I feel like KSP2 overall looks better. Now on to what's going on right now. So, I put us in a trajectory to be slingshot around the moon, and this would fling us out of the Kerbin system. But before we reach the moon, I decided to get out with Bill and look at something. What is that something I speak of? Well, this.
Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Yep, you see that correct. Those are wings. Not attached by anything, but somehow are still on the ship. Now, I haven't seen anyone online talk about, like, a name for these dang glitches and bugs. So I'm going to come forth and give a name to this specific type of bug. This is known as KRAKEN STRUTS, because these things are connected to the ship. But then when I start moving, they don't follow. They're not connected anymore. But they still bring the camera to, like, the center of mass between the two objects, and it's just they're KRAKEN struts, okay? That's what I'm calling it. That is, I'm coining the term. Anyway, so that's gonna be an issue, and I said I don't care. Okay, they're just wings. How bad could it be? This would later come back to bite me, but we'll get to that. So another thing I also want to highlight is the ability for Kerbols to magnetically lock onto ships and stations.
Yeah, bitch! Magnets! Oh!
It is actually really cool. I don't know if this is a bug. If it is a bug, then it's actually quite funny. But I feel like they should keep it in. I'm pretty sure it's an actual feature. They're just like mag-locked boots. So after all that, we got a close look at the moon. We were slung out of the Kerbin system. We were now in orbit around the Kerbol star, and from here we wanted to get over to Jool because it was going to slingshot us out of the star system. So I did a few maneuvers and got us on a trajectory into the Jool system. Once we had arrived, I tried to get an encounter with another moon because I gotcha. Believe it or not, but leaving the Kerbol system was not actually the first part of the plan. In fact, I actually wanted to land on Lathe because I really wanted to land on one of the dang moons of Jool. But funnily enough, as you're about to see, landing in any type of, on any planet that has an atmosphere, results in this.
You're gonna die! You're about to die!
Yep, you saw that right. This was what I was telling you about. So, the KRAKEN strutted wings were causing the whole dang ship to go hog wild, as they say, in the atmosphere. And I didn't really know what to do. And if you're wondering what I'm doing going into Jool's atmosphere like this, I was going to use Jool as sort of a hard brake, since there's no thermal heating from re-entry. I just wanted to sort of abuse that at the moment and use Jool as a brake so I could save fuel. Didn't go well. Probably wouldn't have went well if I didn't have KRAKEN strutted parts of my ship. Anyway. So I went around, tried to land a few more times, but, well, not a single time. It didn't work. I tried over and over and over. Did not work. And this is when I sort of came to the conclusion, okay, landing on an atmospheric planet, not happening. So let's do some glitches. Let's launch ourselves out of the system. How will we do that? Put us on trajectory directly into Jool. Alright, look at that. Now, fast forward to the max speed and watch us get flung out of the star system. So, here we are, in somewhat deep space. First order of business. How long does it take us to get into complete darkness? And funnily enough, the answer to this question is the same as my next question, which is, at what range does the Kerbol sun disappear? And what I mean by this is, how far away do we have to be before the Kerbol star is so dim that it can no longer be seen? As you can see, 463,500 megameters is the distance at which you need to be for the Kerbol sun to disappear completely from view. This also makes everything at this point very dark. Now there's one last thing I actually want to find out, and it is the sphere of influence. Where does it end for Kerbol? And well, fun fact, if you zoom out far enough from the system, you can actually see the sphere of influence of the Kerbol system. All I had to do from here is make a maneuver that leads all the way up to the edge, and then mark down the amount. And for this, it is not billion, but around 9.5 trillion kilometers. At that point, you are basically out of the sphere of influence of Kerbol. Now this gives you a bit of insight of exactly how large these spheres of influences of other stars are going to be. Now with all of that done, we had finished our goals, and this is not going to be canon to actually what the S.H.A.R.T.S program does, so this will be reverted back to launch. But we learned a lot actually during this. Now one last thing I actually wanted to bring up is speculation and thoughts I have for what's to come to Kerbal Space Program 2. Since we're talking about interstellar travel, I wanted to talk about one particular thing. How are all the systems going to be connected? What I mean by this is, what are we all going to be orbiting, huh? Because we know of Deb, I think that's the name of the other system that we know of. Deb is going to be another system. Along with Kerbol, which is the normal system we already have, and then I think a few others that they teased but haven't actually said anything. So what are they all going to be orbiting? Well, I would like to say that we know what they're going to be orbiting, because in the newest trailer that they released for early access, we actually saw what I presume to be either a completely new galaxy, which sounds weird, or, and what I think truly is what we're looking at, a black hole. Yes, what I think this right here is a black hole. Now, just going to explore the black hole will be so cool. I really hope that this is the case, and that it is actually just a black hole at the center of the a star cluster. We'll call it a star cluster. The Kerbol star cluster. That's what I might just call it. But yes, a black hole at the center of it all, with the other systems actually orbiting around. Now, whether or not these will actually be traveling at different orbits, meaning that it would actually be thousands of years before we actually could get like a good encounter, you know? Because if so, that'll be a little weird, but also pretty fun. But knowing the distance to get in between each of the sphere influences of these stars, I can only imagine it will take thousands of years for there to be a good, I guess, maneuver you can make. And then the last thing I want to talk about before this video ends is my thoughts on the current situation of the game. Yes, it has an absolute ton of bugs. Yes, the performance is kind of poopy. But I do believe that they can fix it. We've already gotten a list of what they've already fixed. They're still working on it, and they're still doing more. This is just a partial thing that we know about now. I have faith that they can easily make the performance so much better, especially with the whole, someone said that the Kerbal Space Program 2 is only using like 20 to 30% of the GPU and CPU. That means they could easily optimize it to perform way better. So I have a lot of faith. Maybe it's a little bit of COPIUM, maybe, but I do believe that we will see a ton of good changes in the very near future. And hopefully, by the time this video comes out, we'll see the first of many patches. The game itself has a ton of stuff in it already that is really cool and has helped a lot. For instance, I don't see a lot of people talking about it. The ability to throttle while in time warp is amazing. because it saves so much time. They already, like, they showed it off sort of in one of the devlogs, but it's so amazing. Not to mention all of the new parts, like the giant hydrogen engines, the giant fuel tanks. However, I would wait just a bit if you do consider buying this game. It's a wonderful game, it is, but with how buggy it is and the performance at the moment, I would wait a good bit. Not to mention the price is a little high for what you're getting right now. The glitches, all that, currently pretty bad, and the game is almost unplayable. You can get around it. There's ways to get around some of the bugs I've seen online. In fact, check out Matt Lown. He's actually played a bunch and had fun with some of the bugs. For instance, the one currently that I see a lot going around is the Kraken engine. Kraken engines are funny. But the Kraken strut issue that I talked about earlier, it's a huge thing that affects basically every time you play the game. It causes so much issue and basically makes you have to restart your entire mission and remake the vehicle. It's a horrible issue. I hope it gets fixed. Enough ranting. It has been fun playing around in KSP 2, but I think I'm going to wait until the next patch comes out to make any more KSP 2 videos. It's buggy. I know I could make some videos on it, get around the bugs somehow, but I just feel like it'll taint the experience for me a little too much. So expect more KSP 2 videos when the next patch comes out. Also expect the 200-part optimization performance test video series to continue once the next patch comes out as well. I hope you all have enjoyed. I hope your day or night is going well. Know that you matter and that things will get better, just as this game will get better. It'll take time and it will take some effort from the dev team. But I do believe, and I have faith, can reach its full potential. Anyway, love you guys, stay safe, and I'll see ya.